There's a lot of people that have come up to me privately or messaged me, or I've met at events that have spoke to me or to Jennifer as well, and like really long for wanting to work with their significant other. And
Hello, you're listening to Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast, presented by Brandon Elliott. This show will be going over all aspects of real estate investing and is intended to educate, motivate, and prepare you to take action on your first or next real estate investment. For more information, please visit BrandonElliottInvestments.com. Thank you for listening and enjoy.
welcome back to Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast. I'm your host, Mr. Brandon Elliott. If you didn't know, now you know. If you're watching this live right now, then you are catching us before the wedding. If you are hearing the recording on your podcast, whichever platform you listen to, then you already missed it, and we are officially married. So it's finally here. It's exciting. And so this Saturday, October 12th, is when we're getting married. This Wednesday, we are leaving for Hawaii. We're going to Kona, Big Island, where we're getting married. And we have a bunch of people flying in. So praying that everybody's flights and just arrangements and everything is all flawless. We have so much favor in our lives that I have had faith and confidence the whole way out. It's very easy to say to a certain degree in a man's approach, because I'm not worried or thinking or doing anything related really to the wedding plans at all. But Jennifer has been, working her butt off to make this a perfect dream wedding, of course. But, from what I come from to where I am today, there's nothing short of a miracle involved in this whole transaction of life and transition throughout the years. And so that's why I think there's a big piece of me that I can say it with confidence, even though obviously, like I said, I'm the dude in this situation and I'm not doing the legwork to really prepare any of this. But I just know it's going to be flawless. I know God's hand is going to be all over it. I know that he's going to show up and show off in amazing ways, because there's nothing short of a miracle every single time in any type of events that we've ever done. And so I just eventually, in the past, I used to worry and want to make things perfect and, dial it in, and I would worry, stress out. And over the years, I've been able to get more confident and just realize, looking back, man, I worried about all this nonsense, and God is just he's overtaken everything. He's won everything. He's crushed it in every single way, way better than anything that I had planned up here. So that's just one of those things that over the years I've been able to get more confidence and just kind of leave it up to him, pray on it. And if I do feel any worry, anxiety, stress related anything, I just give it up to him, and he handles it like a boss, like always, the Heavenly Father that he is. But I wanted to talk about relationships and working with your significant other. And it's kind of unique because Jen would be here to actually go over this. She would love this. And we've done similar things like this in the past. So I'll definitely, if this resonates with you guys and you guys enjoy it or have questions on it and want the woman's approach, by all means, this is probably going to be a better conversation in the future to have with her. For right now, you'll get the dude's approach right now. You'll get the man's approach. And yeah, I'll explain my side of the story of what life looks like when you're working with your significant other and the ups and downs behind it, and how there's a lot of people that have longed for this for a very long time. There's a lot of people that have come up to me privately or messaged me, or I've met at events that have spoke to me or to Jennifer as well, and really long for wanting to work with their significant other. And in some cases, it is an amazing calling and something that is incredible. And for others, it's just not in the cards. But what we've seen over the years is the people that really want that and it's just not working out, they're trying to force situations and not lead by example, not make it look sexy for the other person, to give them the confidence to go all in with them. And then that friction and kind of division starts separating them, going off into different directions, which is no bueno. Like you don't want to do that. And so, and I speak with this not from like an authority figure of like, we've been married for 40 plus years. Like we're literally getting married this Saturday for the first time, but I say it from a situation of we've been together. This December 15th will be 9 years being in a relationship. And although I knew Jen was the perfect one, like Jennifer was the one after 1 year's time frame, because of some family circumstances and just because of our own understanding and beliefs, like we wanted to take our time and not rush into things. And we knew that where we were when we met each other was like, to a certain degree, I wouldn't say like the ultimate ground zero, but it was like roughly right around that ground zero. Okay. And we had a lot of goals and aspirations. Like we had a lot of motivation and just like we weren't comfortable with where we were at and we wanted to go somewhere much, much higher. And so being young, kids basically, looking to grow into that position, we knew that we would be changing over time frequently. And boy, have we changed frequently. It is incredible to think about the young, abused, kind of neglected, like just misguided young man that I was, and the stupid things and silliness that I would think or do, or where I got my confidence from, like things like that. The human being that I was, and I'm sure I could speak on her behalf too, of where she was to where we are today, we've changed yearly, in like every couple of years, like just a whole new layer of who we are. And it's incredible to see the journey in each other, but it's also very eye-opening to see like what God has done through us and allowed us to shed off any insecurities or negativity, like the things that we've invested into ourselves constantly, like that's a big key component of it, and something that I'm never shy of exposing. Like we invest heavily into ourselves regularly, so that we are never staying complacent. We are always going for something bigger and better. I grew up with a poverty poor mindset. I think a lot of us do. Typically, I would say a good majority, 90+% of people most likely come up with, insecurities or not frequently talked about money at the kitchen table and so forth, or a poverty mindset. So you put money on a pedestal and then it dictates your every move, and you're like a freaking puppet to the dollar bill. And so wanting to get out of that cycle of mindset of like putting money in a powerful position, like screw that, and understand that we live in abundance and money comes easily, frequently, and putting it underneath us so that we could actually put it to work. You can always get a strong ROI. Like it will never come back voided when you're investing in yourself. You'll always learn something for yourself if you have the mindset and your openness and willingness to actually, like soak up whatever it is for yourself. So I've always been a big advocate of that. And I do see a heck of a lot of ROI frequently when we are investing several six figures into ourselves each and every year. And just being around those like-minded individuals that are taking that leap of faith and doing the exact same thing, you start separating yourself from the average herd. And it's all nothing but respect. It's just like some people aren't willing to invest in themselves, while others are getting in a higher level circle that, we're not putting money on a pedestal. We're not being cheap about certain things. We are starting to care more about luxury because it's, it's our God-given right, but it's also like we give back so much. We can also live in heaven today too. Like we don't need to sacrifice. We can be intelligent with our finances. We can invest heavily. We can have everything that we want and live in abundance. And so going back to, this week is such a big week for us because obviously we're getting married. And so our officiant is one of my best friends, Zach, and he is, last night we had a call and this is his first time being an officiant for a wedding, he's done several deaths, like, funerals, but this is going to be his first live event here and for the beginning phase of life. And so couldn't be more proud and thankful that like one of my best friends is actually being able to do this and just a godly man that can pray into us and really receive the blessings that's about to take forth and just, be front and center to something so amazing. But sitting back and realizing, like, last night he asked us in a private meeting, he was saying to come up, not just the vows, obviously, but 3 words that represent the other person, and to privately give it to him, and then he'll put in his own words after we give some sentences behind it. And so it made me really reflect and realize, right after my explosion back in September 25th, 2013, I had my explosion like a moron, just young, dumb, naive, going down the wrong direction. And I had my explosion from making hash oil. And as you know, recently got that all expunged and just had the anniversary. And so just wild stuff behind that. So very, very blessed. It's all like God's timing. But I remember praying because I was so depressed. I was so lost. I was literally by myself regularly. I had a couple of friends. They weren't really good friends. They were, potheads that just bought from me, like stupid stuff. And they partied a bunch. I didn't like partying. I was very, very introvert naturally, if you know me. And I remember I would smoke about like a quarter ounce a day, like a lot of marijuana a day, like stupidly. And besides growing, waking up late, I'd play basketball from time to time. I'd walk my dogs, and then I would go daily to the beach, and I would park there. I would smoke, I'd walk around, I'd watch the sunsets, and it brought me like peace. But there's so much loneliness. There was so much desire to do other things and travel the world and, be able to have experiences. And I was so depressed thinking about how much I wanted to do all these amazing things and how I could, I'm a very determined type of individual. So it's like money wise, I could always, when there's a will, there's a way. I'll always figure it out. Like I didn't have the money, but I knew I could make it. I could figure it out. I could learn how to travel hack. I could learn how to get credit and be able to buy real estate with it. Like that's how when there's a will, there's a way. And if you have that mindset, you'll always figure out a solution. But for me, I remember saying prayers regularly right around that time, looking at the sunset and realizing like, man, I wish that I had somebody to be able to experience these memories with and like be able to laugh and be able to talk and to be able to ask each other how each other's days are going and be able to travel and create more memories and experiences and to be able to reflect years later and say, oh, remember that one trip? Like how cool is that? Or what about the food there? Or whether it's good, bad, and different, like I wanted somebody, I longed for somebody to be able to do things with. And it's just so amazing that God gave me the opportunity because I've been with plenty of random women that there could have been something there. But when Jennifer came into my life, it was that turning point of I just got on house arrest. I felt like a horrible human being from it. I didn't want to show anybody. I wanted to work my butt off, stay focused, and, get out of that lifestyle that I was living and be able to pay off my debts because I was terrified from that. First time ever being in 10 or 11 grand worth of debt. Not good debt, by the way, bad debt. And it was terrifying to me. And so, but I was eager to get into real estate as well. And I was studying for 2 years, 4 hours every single day. I was submitting offers at that point. I was analyzing deals regularly on my lunch break and so forth at the restaurant that we met in. And, she started poking around and curiosity behind like, hey, what the hell are you doing with all those papers and like analyzing and calculator out? And I'm trying to explain to her and so forth. And anyway, it was just one of those times seeing how God was working for me in so many ways and giving me what I prayed for a long time ago. And so For all the single men and women out there right now that may be listening to this, or if you know somebody, like share this out with them, because I feel like when you are desperate for something and you are constantly like just begging God for it, or like you're asking for it, you may not get it right then and there. You're probably not going to. In fact, there's a season for everything. I needed to get past those obsessions of wanting somebody and literally falling in love with myself and being okay with the new creation of who I was becoming versus who I was, so that I could be in a strong enough, solidified position that I could not just love myself, but be able to love somebody else, to be able to care for somebody else as much as I cared for myself. And the insecurities had to go, the negativity and the daily, rat race that I was circling myself into, that had to go. I had to find purpose and get on a mission to make myself better. And so years later, after those prayers of kind of giving up on like finding and searching for that other person so badly, I gave up on it, and I fell in love with myself. I focused on myself. I deep dived into myself, and then eventually, when I wasn't looking for it, it popped up. And so I don't know who needs to hear that. I don't know if that resonates or not, but I've been meeting a lot more people recently that are single and they don't want to be. And I understand. I truly do. But make sure that you fall in love with yourself and that you're not searching for it, and watch how it pops up. Also, make sure that you're putting yourself out there in some form or fashion. But it's amazing how God will show up when you're not expecting it, and at the right time when you've solidified yourself and made yourself very attractive instead of being desperate. Okay. Kind of switching here gears, going back to this original thought, the entrepreneur that has been kind of trucking down this one path, and they have their significant other. In many cases, it's the guy that's trying to become the entrepreneur, and the woman is in her day job and doesn't trust to deep dive all in. And the guy really wants her to. And we resonated with this a lot originally, Jennifer, because she wanted to have her own thing. Once she started seeing my success start taking off, like it wasn't crazy, but it was like, oh shoot, like we got a couple people paying us, $5-10 here and there, a couple grand, whatever it was. And so when we first got that, it was like, oh shoot, whatever I'm making in the restaurant, we just doubled it up now. Plus I have some real estate going on. Plus now, and then we turned it into like 100,000 and then almost $200,000 of income. And then it's like, holy cow, we're making decent money and still living this low, monthly expenses of what we were living on naturally for like 30 grand a year. Same type of expenses that we were paying. We are making like 200,000 now, except it was more or less me driving the boat, doing it solo to a certain degree, and any tech related stuff, because I'm not tech savvy, I would be calling her in to help out with contracts and like, hey, can we figure this out? Or can you help me get on Zoom? Can you help me record this podcast? or click this live button. I don't know how the hell to do it. So I'd be dragging her into things, and she looked at it as like more supporting, and she's very selfless. She cares more about other people and helping them out, and will put other people before her own self, which is incredible. I am exactly opposite to a certain degree. I very, very much so care about somebody's results and, their investments and I always put myself in the other person's shoes very frequently, of like understanding exactly how they're coming from and what they're going through and how they're feeling. But I will always prioritize myself first. Like I need to be happy, solidified, locked in, so that I need to put on my mask first before I put on anybody else's. And she will be blue in the face putting on other people's masks before she ever even considers helping herself out first. This is just how she's wired, which is, I think it's very commendable and just admirable in many ways. But it's just really eye-opening to see those type of relationships when people want that. She wasn't going all in into my goals and my dreams because she wanted to create her own. And so there was a season in life that she was like working at some dead-end jobs that eventually I left my dead end jobs and I was going all in on this dream. We were making some decent money, but she was working dead end jobs just to have some stability on her own and have like her own paychecks and so forth. And then eventually I had to have tough conversations of like, please believe in me. And like, and it wasn't that she didn't believe in me. She wanted her own thing. And then we had to explain and be on the same path of like, this is our own thing. We're doing this for life. Like we're all in together. It's like blood in, blood out type of thing. And without being married, it's a scary feeling because, anything could happen. Although I knew she was the one after the first year, we wanted to wait because people change. And also, we told ourselves right away, like, hey, we're going to wait 8 years. And then my sister had a circumstance that she wouldn't be at the wedding for until right around now. So it's like we wanted to wait because my sister, for a season in my life, she helped raise me for a little bit of time. And I only have 2 sisters. I only have 4 people from my side of the family that are showing up to the wedding. One of them is like my little sister's boyfriend, so it's like basically 3 family members that are going to be there, and it's important that, I waited for me. And so at the end of the day, guys or girls, if you want your significant other to work with you, I think it's important to sit down with them and actually solidify each other's roles of what that would look like, backup plans in case it doesn't work out. And then also acknowledging their fears. There's some kind of fear in there of why they don't trust to go all in. They have certain circumstances that there's fear around, not just trust related, but like there's fear of going all in. There's something that they're terrified from. So you gotta, expose the elephant in the room and actually identify what those things are and try to make sense of it. See if it's legitimate reasons or if it's just something totally that's never going to come to fruition. So it's like, why worry about that? And it's hard to, because opposites attract, right? Like Jen is the exact opposite of me, and God bless all the right reasons. If I was dating somebody like myself, it would be a bloody match every day. It'd be a death fight. So opposites attract. It's very common to see that. And so however you naturally think, it's going to be typically opposite of the other person. You guys both have understanding and agreeances on many, many things, right? I hope. But it's important to compromise and make sense of the situation, because when you guys are, when that other person does go all in with you, it's not going to be sunshine and rainbows. I hope you realize that. It's like there are very important times that, Jen and I want to kill each other because we are with each other 24/7, and business time is business time, and I run business. I don't care who you are. Like, even if the significant other, like, I will handle it very militantly. Like, it is what it is. I'm me as a CEO. I have the direction behind it. I will also, as a man, when I make mistakes, I will apologize and ask for forgiveness. But I will also, I'm a shot caller. I just, I make decisions quickly and just make it happen. And when it doesn't happen, I need accountability behind why isn't this happen, and will it happen again? And so some people can handle it, other people can't. When you're dealing with your significant other, there can be pushback, there can be some fighting going on. And at the end of the day, something that, we learned from Jesse Itzler and his wife, Sarah, is when there's tension like that, how do you break that off and acknowledge that it's not the problem versus us. Like, we're not creating division here and separation, but instead, and sometimes you need a little separation in those circumstances, like anything, but instead it's us versus the problem. She's a big advocate of that. Jennifer loves just stating like, hey, don't forget, it's not us against each other. It's us versus the problem. Like, we are together regardless. So let's acknowledge the problem and us versus the problem. Let's handle the problem, but let's do it together, side by side. Nobody's front, nobody's back, side by side. Let's handle this. And what we learned from just Jesse and Sarah is that to dance slow dance when you're to the point like no more words can be said. Like you guys want to pull each other's hair out, and luckily I don't have much, so it's like she's not going to win that one. But at the end of the day, it's like when you want to kill each other, how do you? And there's nothing else to say. You've already said all the negative, bad things. Like you want to, now it's just like you motherfucker type of thing. It's like, what do we do now? Just sit back, take a deep breath, come to each other, and just slow dance. And then after a few minutes of doing that, you just take deep breaths and that hugging it out and kind of laughing about the situation. It really does reflect of like, maybe there's tears involved. It reflects the situation of, hey, this is not us against each other. It's us versus the problem. Business is business. There's always going to be ups and downs in it. There's no guarantees. There's tough days, there's great days, there's miserable days, there's a couple things in between. And when you're leading a team of 26 plus employees, like there's going to be some internal chaos. There's going to be some fulfillment chaos. We have 350 plus members. There's going to be some things, okay, when you're making a big impact and you have a big vision. And I think just making sure that you guys are on the same path for that vision is very, very crucial. Being on the same page. And when you're not on the same page, then division can take place. So those are my recommendations. I hope that resonates with people. I know that we could go much, much deeper into this. At this point, there's so much that I would love her opinion on to be able to give you guys proper feedback as well. And just to respect everybody's time, I want to kind of wrap it up right here. But for me, it's been a blessing working with Jennifer. She is, I say it all the time, I'm more of the face of the company. I don't know why the hell we did that, because I'm very introvert. But I'm not tech savvy, so I didn't really have a good spot anywhere else. And she's got a God-given gift. It's the Asian genes in her. It must be. She can become tech savvy and learn something on a computer in about 2 seconds. It's just like natural. She doesn't know how to do it, but within 2 minutes, she'll figure it out and fix it. Like an incredible operations type of individual. And so the two of us over the years building this up, not being scared to invest in each other, in our business, in our growth, not putting money on a pedestal, but putting it underneath, controlling it and putting it to work to better our lifestyle and our business and our impact, and having that vision together that we are aligned in, and feeling the purpose and feeling the fulfillment for both of us, not just me, but like for her as well, seeing what we're accomplishing here. It's very incredible. And if you're not to that point yet, it takes time. We've been doing this for 9+ years, but it takes time. And sometimes it's important to put on your mask first, lead by example, gentlemen or ladies, if you're trying to get your significant other on. And then again, just sit down with them and see what's stopping them, what's holding them back. Is the fear? Is it trust? Is it backup plans? Like, is it legitimate, or is it just something that's, a fear that's never going to take place? But understanding when shit does hit the fan, dance it out. It's us versus the problem. I think it's all very important things to do, so that you acknowledge. And one other thing before, this is really good, because in the beginning, when I was the ultimate hustler, like hustle, and make money, it's important as a guy, we sacrifice relationships and all these other things to try to make money, saying that we're doing it for our family, doing it for our significant other. They don't look at it the same, guys. They rather be poor. Like, women are totally okay with being poor as long as you are giving them time and attention and listening to them and being understood and telling them that they're beautiful every day. Bottom line. Obviously, love languages and everything. Like, you also obviously need to provide so that they can feel the security and safety. For guys, they want the fulfillment, providing and serving and solving problems and being honored and respected. Like, those are the biggest things. So it's really important. When I was hustling, trying to provide, I'd be working till 10, 11 o'clock at night, waking up super early, doing the same thing, and sacrificing our relationship. And after so many months of doing that, 6 months more, I saw the pain that was taking place and how we were getting divided, and that wasn't good. So then I started making it more of a rule of thumb, not always because I'm a business owner, like it happens. We work sometimes later, but we also have designed our life now that we try to keep it more of a 9 to 5 to a certain degree, so that after work, even though we're talking about work all day, after work, we can talk about us. We can be us. We can have us time as a relationship, as a couple. And I think that's a very, very important piece that the guys need to listen to particularly. But anyway, if this resonates with you, which I hope it does, I hope this hits somebody at home today, right in the heart where it needs to be. I just pray that it impacts you in the right way and it lands if this is right for you. And if it doesn't, then hopefully somebody else comes to mind that it would be beneficial for you to share this out to and tag them in it. As always, if you haven't already subscribed, do that right now. Wherever you listen to your podcast episodes, make sure you hit that subscribe button. You'll get the newest notification every single Monday. After leaving that 5-star review, tag somebody and share this out, share the love. We're all doing this for the simple fact to educate you, motivate you, and prepare you to take action. We're teaching financial literacy, not just real estate, but credit, so that you can live the life that you desire on your own terms. And if you're looking for more capital to get up to $500,000 with interest rates as low as 0%, trying to get the best terms and conditions, that's what we really specialize in at Credit Counseling Elite. So don't wait any further. We'll give you a free complimentary 45-minute call with either myself or somebody on our team that is an executive assessment coach that has been trained to go over your particular situation, where you're currently at, where you're looking to go, so we can give you the roadmap in how to get there. Plus, we will give you a absolutely complimentary free gift of 10 banks that will give you up to $50,000 each bank. That's 10 banks, $50,000 up to each. That's up to $500,000 that you can get on your own that will teach you naturally, just for respecting your time. So respect ours, show up on time if you do book that call. Don't screw around with us, or else we will charge you if you want to reschedule. So no bueno on that, because I'm paying these guys to be able to show up and book their calendar. They are filling up quick. So please don't mess around with our time, and we will respect yours by giving you that gift. With that being said, it's totally complimentary. It's just a second opinion to go over your situation and where you're looking to go. If it's a good fit, would love to work with you. If not, God bless you. Here's the 10 banks. Rock and roll on your own and follow us for more. With that all being said, love you guys all so much. I am about to become a married man. So, ladies, so sorry. It's off the table. Just kidding. All right, guys. Appreciate you guys all so much for tuning in as always. And you guys have a blessed week ahead of you. Get out there, crush it. And if you need anything at all, just DM us, okay? Follow us on Instagram. Follow us at Credit Counseling Elite on Instagram. It's a new page that we are looking to build out and get into a lot of people's hands nationwide. So make sure you follow us there if you have not already. And then also follow me on Instagram as well. Besides Credit Counseling Elite, go to Brandon Elliott Investments. All right. Love you guys all so much. We'll see you next week. God bless. Peace out.
This has been another episode of Ready, Set, Go Real Estate Investing Podcast, brought to you by Brandon Elliott. For more information, please visit BrandonElliottInvestments.com. Also, please don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment below. Thanks again for joining. Until next time, God bless.